Thank you so much for joining. I am Marcelina Unkwa. It is TMI, the continuation on news and current affairs program. All right, today we're going to be talking about the nationwide strike, oil workers versus Dangote Refinery. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigerian, Pegasin, has declared a nationwide strike over the dismissal of over 800 Nigerian workers by Dangote Refinery. In retaliation, Pegasin also ordered a halt to crude/gas suppliers to the refinery, escalating the crisis. The government is set to meet with union leaders to resolve the dispute. According to Pegasin, the union claims that the termination, which was without due consultation and in violation of labor laws and workers' rights. Interesting. Okay. And also Pegasin alleged that many of the dismissed workers had recently joined the union and accuses Dangote of replacing them with foreign nationals, primarily from India, as part of the reorganization. Dangote, on its own side, has denied a mass layoff and claimed only only small numbers were let go. It also says it's continued to employ over 3,000 Nigerians and dispute the replacement claims. Interesting. All right, I am not going to be having this conversation alone on TMI this morning. I'll be having my guest via Zoom, the person of Beach Show, James Grant, Culture. He is our political affairs analyst. Hello, good morning, Bishop.
Yeah, Mercy, good morning. I'm glad to be here once again.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for joining. So the issue this morning is about oil workers and Dangote. I mean, over 800 Nigerians, will lay off. I mean, that is a whole lot. And Pegasin at this point has declared a nationwide strike. If you look at the 1999 Constitution, I said it earlier, amended, it talks about human dignity as a constitutional right, workers' rights. They have their rights. You can't just massively sack 800%, just like that. We would be talking about this morning, how we can make it better. They allege that over 800 workers, if you can hear me, Bishop James Grant, the Pegasin alleged that over 800 workers were dismissed and replaced by expatriates. From your own perspective, is this a breach of Nigerians' labor laws?
Yeah, Mercy, thank you so much. In fact, I can't wait to react to this. First of all, I apologize. The topic right there, the studio was fine. The thing is, Nigeria don't know where to, the problem here is, the something we take part. The government will say you are the system. But the system was recognized back, somebody's on ground and I see them in there. The truth of the matter is that in part of labor institution, they take Nigerians for granted. Our local the Chinese companies, Indian companies, believe the working conditions, the conditions. And then in one thing, what is this? What cannot do software? They do how the China do not do expert to the it's so hard to you know the issue was that these 800 people they joined Pegasin. I mean, we have freedom of association. That's an infringement of the human rights. You don't tell them because you go the them to clear. That's not what they do. You want to that something concerns to us. Something to be done about it. But the local union, the local, the authority, not just about you know all the stuff of the government. Also in the private sector, the working condition of Nigerian workers are so bad. I mean, there is no how uh, uh, you employ someone, you pay a certain point, because they don't know to do the work. And they let them do the work is not because if this has not to see, I mean, very soon, Nigerian workers become rats for the people to employ them. So it is condemnable. It is not something to be heard that our doctor company, you know,
Okay.
release take spread, release them from the government and corporation. It is bad. It is condemnable.
Okay, Bishop James, if you can hear me. At this point, do you see the strike as purely about workers' welfare, or are there deeper industry grievances at play? Is it about workers' welfare? Do you see the strike as about workers' welfare?
Well, one thing is we are reacting from the things we saw. We don't know if there are things happening behind the scenes. But from the what we have, the reason for their start is because joint venture, one hand, the joint venture, like is just promoting the website. All right. So I don't see anything wrong with them joint venture. I don't think it's wrong. For me, it is all workers' welfare. It is politics depending. Well, we are reacting from information that is available, you know, to us. That's what we are all about workers' welfare.
For that. Also, yesterday, we saw that Ali Udume, that is a senator representing Borno South, he says to our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he said he should dissolve the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, which is the PENGASIN, that he should dissolve them if the union continue to serve private interests rather than the public good. Do you think at this point the union, they are actually serving private interests? Because that is what Ali, which is a senator representing Borno South, said yesterday.
Well, I don't know the answer that Mr. Ali in is coming from. To an extent, they are doing voice of extent in this government to an extent. Anyway, but I am reacting to the general treatment of the workers' experience here in and like I said, from the information we have, we didn't. You see, government. Let me tell government. If you look right now, look around. How many how many oriented how many people oriented policies you see out there? And one paper, how many of them are implemented? You see, what you see out there is how they will get from the people. But I'm not talking about how do we do the people before we can get all these things. So for me, sounding from the angle of I don't think that it has to be an overhauling of Nigerians as people here. You mostly see 40%. Most of the time they stand in I mean, there should be an attempt it's called in the sector private operative. How people are being treated. All right. So what maybe about that, but I am telling you, the situation exists. Yeah, once.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. We all know how this thing will affect fuel and all of that. You know, it's not good for the economy. A lot of people out there currently, they're scared of fuel shortage, and we know how bad it is for our economy at this point. And also, the Labor Ministry has called for talks. You know, how much power, Bishop James Grant, how much power do you think that the federal government actually have to compel Dangote to reverse or reveal its decisions? You know, at this point, Dangote has made his decision, you know, and the Labor Ministry has called for talks. How much power do you think the federal government has to resolve this in order to make Dangote change his mind about the decision he has made?
Anyway, it's very dicey because you know that Dangote does not work for the government, right?
Okay.
Dangote is a private jet. All right. So he can tell you if he tells you have the wherewithal to sustain this, then you can otherwise. But he runs it. He knows comment, whatever he says, or whatever he says, or they can come up with other kinds of that will beat them. But so setting facts straight. Um, government, government could have the talk. They could have the talk. That's good. But you know what I don't like in Nigeria is choice against some ill treatment. Instead of giving them ear to hear them out, brute force will be deployed. And then you know, there will be, I mean, will run back. That's what I don't like. The government, you know, to uh, you know, right now, talk about engaging on a disc way to go. And I can tell you, no matter what happens, I think we can go to the government of the thing is not working for them, but they can influence, they can influence his decision, they can do something about this. These things can solve. If government really, you know, comes on board with truthfulness, there is not happening that the government can do something about it.
At this point, Bishop James, at this point, do you think the government mediation is swift enough to avoid a nationwide fuel shortage? Because this whole thing now is about fuel. Do you think the government mediation is swift enough to avoid a nationwide fuel shortage at this point?
Well, I think so, but also want the government to be cooperative because this thing, right? It just got manifested. They talk, they've been a talk, all right. If the government is more proactive, it wouldn't have get to this point. But at the same time, come on, because you know things here. I mean, it affects that's the lifeline of Nigeria, you know. So I think we are coming on board right now, decisively to do something about it. To go along with the consequences of the strike. And I know, yeah,
Thank you so much for that. At this point, would reinstating the laid-off workers be a realistic compromise, or is compensation more likely? Do you think compensation is more likely, or reinstating them? Which do you think would be better at this point?
come again, please.
I said, would reinstating the laid-off workers be
Okay,
a realistic
okay.
compromise, or is compensation more likely?
Well, if you visit them and then the problem is not handled, it is to come up tomorrow. All right, it
Oh,
is to come up tomorrow. There's a reason why the man is that reason to be looked into. And this is pointing to workers' welfare. which in effect, I am stating that it goes beyond the crisis. The government should also extend to what happens, particularly in the private sector. It's nothing to write home about. People
Oh,
they are not being treated.
okay.
Most of these foreign companies. Yes. So that's my concern. Reset them and look into what
All right. All right.
I'm
Thank you so
talking
much.
about it.
Thank you so much. A, a lot of people have been in this particular matter. We saw yesterday on S where Shehu Sani advised Dangote in a post he made on S to recall all workers who were sacked, and he also urged the Pegasin to suspend its decision to cut off the supply of gas to Dangote Refinery. Let's see if all these things will work. He's advising and he's also urging Pegasin to cut off all the supply or the decision to cut off supplies of gas to Dangote Refinery. We don't know. Let's keep our fingers crossed to see what will happen, because in all of this, it will affect the supply of fuel, and you know how it is for our economy to have shortage of fuel and all of that. It will destabilize the economy and all of that. We pray everything got settled and all of that. Imagine sacking or laying off 800 workers. That is a whole a lot. All right, this is all we've got for you from our Lagos Network studio this morning on TMI. Thank you so much for joining.